YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. First of all, before I say any more, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who watched my last video. It's the most views I've got on any YouTube video by an absolute mile. So if you haven't seen it, I will put a link on the screen at some point in this video. But it was basically the exact same as what I'm about to run you through right now. So what you're about to watch is my full current leg day. And in there, I'm going to be giving you some tips, some tricks, why I do things, how I do things, the order of things. So without me saying any more, because I know you're here for the workout, let's dive straight into it. So we always start off all my workouts, to be honest with you, with some sort of ab work. And I keep my abs very simple. I really enjoy a cable crunch, but today I was training at King's, so I had access to a little bit of fancier equipment, which is this ab crunch. Again, I'm looking for an ab crunch that I can overload. So I'm looking for some weight. I want to be able to add some resistance to it over time. And the reason being is because this allows me to get my core ready, get my core primed. Again, when you look at a leg day, you're looking at big, heavy compounds. So in this leg day, you'll see me do a squat pattern, a hip hinge, and a leg press, and also a bit of glute work. All of which you're going to need your core active and firing. So for me, it allows me to get my core ready. But also number two, it means that when I get to my end of a workout, I'm finished. I haven't got to do my core. Which I know there's a couple of you watching this will skip your abs. I know you will at the end of your workout because you're tired. So number one trick, put it at the start of your workouts so it cannot be missed. So from there, we are diving into the leg stuff. Right, so first movement is a seated hamstring curl. Now, I personally am a seated hamstring curl over line type of guy. No real hatred towards a lying hamstring curl. For me, I feel more in control of the movement when I'm doing a seated. And if I can feel more in control, it means I can put more into it. And the reason being I put this first is two main reasons, and you'll see a bit of a pattern emerging in a minute. I like the fact that I can just get my knees moving. You know, I used to do leg extensions first, but I found that, I don't know, it could have been a bit psychological, but I was just loading that knee joint too quickly. By doing the hamstring curl, yes, we're using the knee joint, but we aren't putting as much stress through it as we are with a leg extension compared to a hamstring curl. So I take my hamstring curls and all my isolations, 2 working sets. I believe this set in particular was somewhere between 8 and 12. I'm not going to count the reps, I'm going to talk to you instead. But things you need to focus on here really is bracing really hard. You can see I'm really trying to push against that pad on my knees because I'm trying to keep my pelvis as still as possible. So I don't want to see any hip movement if I can help it. Again, you're going to have a little bit, but just try your best to limit it as much as possible. From there, we are diving over into our leg extension. So again, remember, I've just said about my knee being warm. I am now satisfied that my knee is warm. So no amount of stretching, no amount of sort of dynamic work can really get you ready as well as the actual exercises can, if that makes sense. So obviously prior to this, I did stretch, I did some massage gunning. So I am nice and warm, but again, when we're loading joints, there's nothing like actually doing the movement. So same sort of setup here really for leg extension as in the hamstring curl. Again, I'm really trying to make sure my hips do not move. So you'll see I'm really gripping that handle really, really tight. One key tip when you're looking at leg extension, this is something I really drill into my clients. If you look where my knees are, I'm trying to make sure that they're in line with that red circle. This is what we call the axis of rotation. So if you line the joints up, you're working within the machine. You're working with the machine. You want everything to be in line and aligned, basically. So again, working within sort of 8 to 12 here, and then I'll do a back off set after this. Really trying to make sure I control the stretch and taking as much as I can up the top. I think isolation movements, you can get more out of them with a good spot, but naturally I train by myself, so I never really get that luxury. And I could ask someone, but I don't know, I've got trust issues. And you also see as you get off any sort of isolation, if you do them properly, the discomfort is quite high. So I always look like I'm climbing out of bed when I get off these sort of machines. But then from there, we are over into our third and final isolation before we go into the bigger exercises. The adductor with a D, adductor. So again, adductors you've heard me talk about on here before. You also hear me talk about it a lot on my Instagram. I feel this is one of the most used and undertrained muscle, specifically in men, but I'm gonna say in general. I think if you look at most people's leg days, it probably doesn't involve this machine. I'm not really sure why, because I think most people look at the aesthetics of the quads, the hamstrings in particular, so they go for them sort of dominant movements. But I can't tell you enough just how beneficial training your adductors is to your overall leg size. If you are someone watching this and you're thinking, I want to make my legs look bigger, so you're looking at this video for tips. If you take nothing else from this video, take this exercise, okay? Get this into your next leg day. It is likely you won't be able to walk for a few days after doing this for the first time. I still get really poor DOMs a couple of days after. It's really an uncomfortable exercise. I mean, look at the way I'm getting out of it. I'm a complete mess. But trust me, put this into your next leg day, run it up over time, see how your legs look. So, without further ado, we are into the more meatier movement of this workout, okay? So what I've included here is I've included my last warm-up set and my working set. So you're gonna see a fair bit of me squatting here. So as I set this up, I'm just gonna have a quick drink. So this is this machine, is what we call a true squat. Well, not we, it's what the machine's called, a true squat. And I'll be honest, this is a very, very new exercise for me. For as long as can remember, I've either ran pendulum squat or the Smith machine squat. But I got to a point at the end of my diet where I felt like I wanted a bit of new stimulus. I wanted to think about a new movement. I wanted to challenge myself in different ways. And I'm very blessed that I go to a gym with this type of equipment, and I gave it a go, and it's brilliant. I mean, just look at the range of motion that I get in my knees here. I'm almost sitting down onto the floor. It's fantastic. And when you add the seatbelt in, just to help you brace, keep the back nice and tight to the pad, it's phenomenal. So you'll see there my warm-up set, I think I did 3 or 4 reps. I'm very close to my top set, so you'll see me here, I just add a 5 on. So literally, I'm 5 kilos away from my actual working set. The reason being is 2 main reasons. Number 1, psychological. It means I'm very, very close to the working weight that I'm gonna be doing. So if the warm-up set goes well, hopefully the working set will go well. And number 2, again, it just allows me to prime my central nervous system ready for a heavy load. You don't really want to have a massive gap between your last warm-up set and your working set, just purely because when you then touch that working set, it's going to come as a little bit of a shock. But again, you want to keep the reps short, you want to keep them limited, 2-3 reps, feel it out, boom, get into it. So here we are. So rep range here on my top set here, I believe is 6 to 9. I don't have my notes in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 to 9. I'll let you count how many I get. But again, remember, you want a nice big squat pattern in your leg day. If it's not this one, it's a pendulum. If it's not a pendulum, it's a hack, barbell, Smith machine. It really doesn't matter. What matters is how well you can execute it, okay? I have no bias towards any of them. I have my favorites, but I have no issue with any of them. The main thing I have issue with is when people kind of shy away from these big movements. And I'm gonna say, I think you need a big squat pattern in your leg day. I really do. I think over time, if you can get really good and execute range of motion similar to this, you know, you're looking at knee flexion. That's what you wanna do. You wanna maximize your knee flexion. So some people need to prop their heels up. On this machine, I don't need to, but when you see my Smith machine, I prop my heels up because I want to maximize that knee traveling forward. So you'll see, I'm gonna start flagging in a minute. This really, really does take a lot out of me, both physically and mentally, if I'm completely honest with you. And it should do, if I'm honest. It really should. You know, when you're doing these big exercises, I might have had one more there. But again, I've got no spot, so I'm like half a rep in reserve. But when you're doing these big exercises, you really should get off it looking how I look right now. I'm trying to just gain my composure. I'm trying to get my breath back. Tough, okay? From there, we're going into, again, another new movement. So I think I've got a warm-up set in here and also my working set. Stiff leg deadlifts. Now, for the longest, and I mean longest, I'm talking close to probably 18 months, if not longer, I've done Romanian deadlifts with the bar. And you would have seen me do it on the channel, you would have seen me do it on Instagram. I love that exercise, but again, I needed a new stimulus. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone. It's not a movement I've ever had in rotation, ever. So you could almost say I'm absolutely learning this movement in front of your very eyes. This is week 3 of this being in my program. And I'm not quite comfortable yet. This was, I think it was 100 and, no, this is my warm up, but I get up to about 115 kilos today. And I'm not going crazy with the weight just yet. I've got straps on for the first time, but I'm still trying to learn the movement pattern. I'm still trying to learn my cues. I'm still trying to learn where to breathe and brace. Excuse me. Because as much as you think that should be second nature for me, being somewhat experienced, being a coach, whatever you have it, I still go through periods of learning as well. You know, just because I have a level of expertise, I guess I don't even like saying that, but it doesn't mean that I don't learn as well. You know, I think one motto I always like to live by is always be a student, always be willing to learn and allow yourself to be educated in areas that you're maybe not as well educated. And a stiff leg deadlift is certainly not my forte. So you see me learning, I'm doing work outside of this as well to, again, understand the movement pattern. But the best thing for me, at least where I am in my training, is to just get under that bar and use it. You know, learn from my mistakes, record my sets, see where I can do better, see where I've gone quite well. And when I look back at this, you know, again, I don't think this set is too bad. I think one of my biggest downfalls is that I try to be too perfect. And the one thing that I really get in my head about with this exercise, with it being only week 3, is I'm really focusing too much, I think, on my knees. I'm really trying to limit my knee bend because, again, I'm trying to make this as stiff as possible, right? And I think I'm doing okay, if I'm honest. I think I'm doing all right. Again, I think I got somewhere between 6 to 9 reps. Only one working set here, and you might be thinking, why? The reason being is because I can only manage one. I can only manage one. Again, you're not seeing me go all the way here, but when I do my Romanian deadlifts, one working set is enough for me. And again, when you're looking at how many working sets you should be doing, please don't copy what I'm doing. This is how much I can recover from, number 1, and this is how much I grow with, number 2. So for the longest amount of time, I had 2 leg days. Now I've got 1. Please don't try and copy exactly what I'm doing. Take the template, but please don't copy it, because I've got different. I've trained differently up till now. My body responds differently. You know, again, take the template, not exactly what I'm doing. From there, we are over into a leg press. I'll be so truthful. If you look at my face here, I am flagging. I'm absolutely flagging. Like I said, them 2 movements back to back, the squat and the hip hinge, they really annihilate me, physically and mentally. So I really struggle with leg days. I don't dread them, but I don't necessarily look forward to them. Especially if I've had a long day at work, or if I haven't had a great sleep, or if I haven't had great food. And at the minute, I'm really only hitting legs off 1 meal, which is far from ideal. But, you know, I'm not here to make excuses. That's just the reality of my current situation. So we get after it nonetheless. Excuse me. But what you're seeing me do is a hip hinge. A hip hinge. I meant a hip press. What you're seeing me do is a hip press. This is a new machine. And another one I absolutely love. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, or if you watch my YouTubes for a little while, I've really struggled with leg presses as of late. I had a little bit of a back issue a couple of years back. Long story short, psychologically, I've really struggled to get into a leg press. When this bit of kit came round, I used this in Ultraflex up in Leeds one time. Leeds or Rotherham, one or the other. And it's by far my favourite way to leg press. It's absolutely phenomenal. You finish where you start, so the risk is very low, very minimal. And again, you can really take it all the way, as you've just seen there. So again, 2 working sets here, 1 shorter, 1 slightly larger. Again, 6 to 9. I like the 6 to 9 rep range with legs because I find when you kind of go 10 plus on the big movements, not the isolations, the bigger ones, I find that form can break down pretty quickly as soon as fatigue sets in, which increases risk of injury. So for me, the risk versus reward is just not worth it. So I keep within that sort of 6 to 9 range, and then have a back off on lighter weight, sort of 10 to 12. And again, last movement, which is also another new movement. So there's a bit of a theme here. I've got new movements in left, right, and center. So in short, I used to have the glute drive in. So I always want some direct glute work. I think it really helps my lower back, actually, obviously. If you're not doing your glute work and you've got lower back issues, try and do some glute work. But this is a stand-in hip thrust. I couldn't tell you the name of it. I really couldn't. But I got fed up of the glute drive, which you've probably seen me do. It's basically a hip thrust, but the machine with the pad across. The reason being I got fed up with it was because I couldn't rack it. I would do the set. I would get to the end of it, you know, dying, obviously, and then really struggle to get it back in the pins. So I'd find myself often finishing on the floor a lot of the time. And when I'm using 4, 5, 6 plates aside, you don't want to be finishing on the floor. So I got fed up. So I'm using this new bit of a kit. It's 2-3 weeks in. I'm still trying to learn it again, but last week I really noticed my glutes were absolutely annihilated. So I think it's here to stay. I think it's here to stay. But we're coming to the end of the video now. Again, I just want to reiterate my thanks to everyone that showed me love on the last video. If you're new here, my name's Regan, I'm a coach. I put out fitness tips. I've got Instagram in the bio. Go and follow because I post daily over there. And if you're someone who watches every video, you know I've got love for you, all right? But I will catch you in the next one. And yeah, take it easy. I'm out.